Hey, Craig and Leah are here, the best editor and best managing editor of Phoenix Magazine in my book.
Everything's best this time.
Yeah, everything is best when it comes to Best of the Valley. Thanks so much for joining us on the podcast to talk about Best of the Valley, the new issue. Let me just start with, do you guys enjoy this one more than any of the other issues, or am I just kind of projecting that? Because it's usually my favorite issue.
It's my favorite, for sure. I think it's the most distilled version of the Valley in one issue that we do. It covers so much. There's so many different points of light that we're getting in there. It's just fun to sit back and enjoy it once it's done. You flip through it, you see all the amazing photography and people and things they make, and it makes me excited about living in Phoenix.
100%. It's hard to narrow it down. And I think that speaks to how cool Phoenix is. It's hard to narrow it down into a 60 something page view.
Yeah. You mentioned, Craig, the photography. When I go to publish it online, I'm looking at these food photos for hours at the wrong time of the day too. So I get super hungry, just, salivating, looking at all this stuff.
Yeah, totally. And it's energy too. A magazine, unlike a newspaper or other forms of publishing, like, traditional publishing, you can get momentum and life and electricity onto the pages because of the format. And that's been a fun part of Best of the Valley as well, editing it and putting it together. Mm-hmm. Unlike a lot of the other issues, it really lends itself to that kind of cinematic experience. And it feels like you're kind of making a movie sometimes. So it becomes multidimensional. And, not just the magazine, we do a party now around it.
Best Fest on August 17.
Right.
I think that's a Saturday night.
You manage the Reader's Picks program, which has become this great online democratic process where people can nominate businesses in pretty much any category.
Yeah, we leave that 100% to the readers or online users, and they do the work for us. They nominate. We whittle it down. We can't have 120 Mexican restaurants on the. Right. So we narrow it down to a top 10 for voting.
Yeah. So it's become that as well. It just exists in so many different dimensions, and it's fun to put together. A lot of work, but really fun and rewarding, and it's connected with the readership and with the greater Valley. People in the Valley more so than any other issue I think we do. So
100% agreed.
So, Leah, is there any of your favorites that get left off that we can't quite make room for every year?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I wish we could do more taste tests. Those are really fun.
Those are really awesome. You brought in Ian Schwartz from Arizona's Family for the Smash Burger.
Smash Burger. Yes. Now, we did burgers when we first started doing these taste tests 12 years ago. Mm-hmm. I think it was 12. You and I it was your first year, I think, maybe 10 years ago.
See, I started in 2020 with the magazine. Yeah. I don't think we had one just because of like COVID restrictions.
It might have been COVID,
sure. I don't know if we had one in that issue. I'll have to look back, but So I just remember you guys starting that 3 or 4 years ago.
We take 8 different things. So say we're doing smash burgers, we find 8 smash burgers. We also did rosés, Arizona rosés.
Yeah,
it used to be I don't think there was a single rosé
in Arizona.
Yes. The wine industry is exploding.
But now you have no problem finding them, right?
No, it was great. And, we've done IPAs, we've done chocolate chip cookies. You name it.
Yeah, the hot chicken sandwich or fried chicken, I think it was last year, yeah.
So we get these 8, we find 8 of them, whatever they are, 8 specimens, and we get a celebrity or somebody with some...
A local notable, I call them.
An expert, come in and they try them all blind and evaluate them blind, and we anoint a winner. It's a lot of fun.
It's super fun. And I especially love these judges with such character. Like Ian was not pulling any punches with some of his analyses. Yeah. And Tracy is a legit wine judge.
Tracy
so for her
Dempsey,
for her to lend her palette to us.
Yeah, they're
really
very well versed in what they're talking about.
She's so
it's like, we pick a well-known person, but it's almost like their expertise in certain areas, right?
We should do a podcast once a month where we just do this and
I would love
record it, produce it.
We initially started doing these. Me and Johan in marketing would do these to try to build up stuff for the Arizona Craft Beer Awards. Mm-hmm. And we did do a blind. We brought you in that one time for a blind, trying to guess what a different stout was and stuff like that. Yeah. Trying to look for different flavors. But the taste test is always a fun fun read. It's the very end of Best of the Valley, at least our editorial
the food
picks.
area, yeah.
Kind of goes right into the readers' picks there, the full list. And you have actually it's the end of the food section, I guess, there. So big food section, it's not just food, it's shopping, it's lifestyle, it's things to do, our favorite events throughout the year, our favorite kind of people and media. So you guys cover pretty much anything and everything, and we get a lot of that.
Club, Walter Studios.
Yeah, great spread on that.
Yeah, it was awesome.
A lot of different ins and outs, not just a 2-liner. It's a full spread there on Walter Studio. And
I guess charm bars are becoming big with the jewelry set. So we profile several different charm bars, kind of based on price point or tax bracket.
A lot of good like photo shoots in there that Morel put together. There's different models throughout there. Leah's holding up one that will grab a guy's attention, I suppose.
Yes.
To focus on the jewelry, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
So make sure you watch that on YouTube if you're just listening to the podcast.
And then it ends with 300 readers picks.
Yeah, I think sometimes
feels like it,
now the readers often come to me with suggestions for stuff. Does that kind of open up when you see that list? Does that kind of open up your ideas for what you want to write about editorially?
I would have thought of doing a wedding donkey / beer burro category, and I saw that because it's a readers picks category. And my first thought is, come on, there can't be more than one beer wedding donkey.
You would think.
Company in the valley. There's like 5 or 6.
Yeah,
it's a legit category.
Yeah,
robust.
You pull up, they're spread out all over the Google map. They're wedding donkey,
wedding donkey,
beer burro.
I went to a wedding with a donkey. I thought it was a one-off. I didn't realize that was a thing. So yes, it is consciousness.
Is that only in Arizona, do you suppose, or is that
no? It's got to be national.
It's got to be. Yeah. Okay.
Another thing that's trending are cowboy hat bars, where you go to a boutique and they have all these cowboy hats. They have some kind of a machine. Usually it's creates steam and they can shape. It's a hat shaping machine. And you basically, you can outfit the hat, anoint it with little flair items. And
we have that great photo there talking about the Best Summer Party, Best Fest.
Right.
And a lot of the models there are showing them off. Yeah.
They're going to be at the Best Fest party as well.
Very cool.
Cowboy hat bars. I didn't realize I went to one in Utah and I thought it was a one-off, but I realized they're in pretty much every city.
Not just is it like a Cave Creek Carefree type thing?
No,
or
it's
back in the day?
Town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Old Town Scottsdale.
Huge with bachelorette parties, which Scottsdale's become such a bachelorette destination. So it's like you walk through Scottsdale and you see, 10 girls wearing pink cowboy hats with a bunch of doodads on them.
That's what it is.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Well, obviously it starts off with the cover, and I got our art director Morel couldn't be here today, but she did leave me a note. I asked her kind of what the inspiration was behind that.
Yeah.
She said she's been hanging out a lot in arcades like the Cobra Arcade Bar and
that's
Level 1 in Mesa, I guess. And she says in between concerts and dinners and stuff, so there's an arcade bar nearby, and it's reminded her, like, these sort of places reminded her of that kind of old school 8-bit video game look.
It's a charming look. It's
that was
nostalgic and fun, and I think I don't know if there was a reason or a rationale beyond just it's fun to look at. We picked it. But that's really it. It's like it's the billboard for the issue, and this one's fun.
Yeah, like you guys could play with that too. It's obviously says on the cover the high scoring Valley favorites 591, and then I think inside it's like power up your local love or whatever.
That's
that it's really Leah. It's a great guide to supporting local, right?
100%, yes, and that's where I like to toot our own horn, because Matt, before the podcast, you were saying, like, what are the best ways to support local? And I think subscribing to us is, because we have lots of local ideas in every issue. We only write about local stuff. So in every issue, we have fashion, shopping, local food products, but Best of the Valley is that like times 1,000. So you could just make your way through this and
it keeps us employed, and we're local.
Yes, indeed. We all are also local. So support us.
Indeed. Another thing in here that's, I think, new, right, is the Hall of Fame that we're starting.
First time.
Yeah.
Next year will be the 25th anniversary of Best of the Valley, which I just discovered going through here. So this year, we got a wild hair. The readers' picks have become a big deal. So, but we haven't ever kept track of them. They all just kind of exist in these
Like
you
little
know,
blurbs and
these
in the list for the
paper
readers'
issues. We
picks,
never had them digitally recorded. So we had a staffer go and take every Best of the Valley issue over 24 years, create a spreadsheet of every reader's pick winner. And we can find fun patterns. And we discovered that there were some, winners, perennial winners that really that own that category and have won every year. The Heard Museum has won every year for best place to buy Indian art. Sweet Republic has owned the ice cream category for years and years now. And then what was the third one?
V's Barbershop.
V's Barbershop.
Yeah, V's Barbershop.
Has owned the barbershop category for a long time. So we launched a
great
Hall of
picture
Fame.
there, by the way. Of is it Jimmy? Is that his name?
What is it?
The owner?
Let's see. Yep, Jim Valenzuela.
Yeah.
And this was
Valenzuela.
educational for me. These are so omnipresent. I didn't realize they were local, but they're a local chain. They started here, so good
60
on them.
locations nationwide now, but started here in Arizona, which is fantastic.
Incredible.
Yeah. So anyway, Hall of Fame. That'll continue. We'll keep doing that. Next year's our 25th anniversary. It's going to be a heck of a
Very
cover,
cool.
heck of an issue. So.
Yeah, 25 years Best of the Valley. This year's, extra special because of just it feels like it expands every year. There's a great feature in the front of the book called Collections Department every issue, and where we go back and look at throwback kind of trends and stuff. And this one is the covers of previous best ofs, and you can kind of look at like the progression of that number gets bigger and bigger. Now it's almost up to 600 and
almost 700. Yeah, back in the day, it was much smaller. There were maybe 150 to 200 items, blurbs where we, anoint something the best. And it's tripled since then. Yeah, it's gotten much, much bigger. The covers have gotten more interesting, too. You look at that first cover, just a black cover.
Pretty rough.
With like some kind of real basic font.
Yeah, is that a crime
Basic
cover? What is that?
It does look like a crime cover.
Yeah.
Something lurks in the shadows of Best of the Valley.
Exactly. Not a lot of joy in that cover.
No.
But kind of fun to look at.
Yeah.
Distracting.
That was when people didn't know where to look for Best of the Valley before Phoenix, came along.
That's right.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, so it has evolved over the years.
Do you have a favorite cover over the years? Matt was wondering before we started.
Oh.
It's hard to pick. I do really like the burger.
The burger,
one because it's just so primal. Like, oh, give me that burger.
We have Alice Cooper on that one. That was fun. He is so generous with his time. It's not always easy to get celebrities, obviously, to be on, to participate in photo shoots and stuff. He's always been super generous with his time. He has a great relationship with us. And so what was that, 2017?
Yes.
We had him on with a with this fixed gear bicycle, and he's wearing his leather and everything. It's a fun dichotomy,
Yeah.
So synonymous with the Valley, obviously.
He is. He is Mr. Phoenix. So probably my favorite.
I also loved last year's, which was like a neon sign theme, and the cover was kind of a riff on the diving lady from that Mesa. It's a hotel or something. It's very iconic. Everybody knows it. So I love
cover
that
last
one.
year,
It's just so beautiful and colorful. This one's also super colorful. And
Yeah.
You guys, obviously I use this resource a lot. It's where I first learned about or discovered Sweet Republic, even though I've lived here now like almost 30 years. Just a couple of years ago, I brought my kids there, and I continually go back to the issue, and I won't give it away who won, our pick for best burger and taste test, but I will go there this Saturday
to the burger winner.
To the burger winner before the D-backs game.
Give that away.
I'm going to the D-backs game, so I'm like, we are going to this place first because it's apparently the best, So we're going, treating the kids, treating the wife.
Who are the D-backs playing?
The Oakland A's.
Oh, they're bad this year. That should be a good series for the D-backs.
Yeah, the D-backs. You guys do the mood stabilizer every issue, and it's like that's how kind of my mood goes. Like they win, then they lose. Like they're 500. They just win and lose. They just ping pong back and forth.
Yeah,
it's a challenging season with injuries, but hopefully they'll turn it around.
Yeah, it's still only halfway through it. They can pull it out easily.
Also in the issue, got a short little blurb interview with Roger Clyne.
Yeah,
and I bring that up because it's we got this really cool exclusive event coming up in September with Roger Clyne Escape Series. It's called.
He was our cover model last December.
Oh yeah, for Grade 48. Yeah, him and Jamie, right? Jamie
Clyne,
Soretta.
Yeah, Roger Clyne, the Peacemakers, and legendary Valley rocker.
So they're going to have an exclusive, like what we call it internally a hotel buyout. We buy out the entire hotel in Wickenburg called
Right.
Ranchos de los Caballeros.
Right.
People can book a room and you get this whole weekend with Roger performing different music. You get to hang out with him, different things on this dude ranch. It's very cool. It's on escapeseries.com. Really looking
Escape
forward to
series
that.
is what we call it.
Yeah, the Escape series. So
first time we've done it.
First time we've done that, and Roger Clyne is the the guinea pig. He's the inaugural act.
Yes.
So it's very cool. You can check that out, escapeseries.com, and it's mentioned in that article in the new issue.
Yeah, I've always, I've seen like bands like Wilco and My Morning Jacket. They're an indie rock band. They've done similar buyouts like in Mexico. I thought always it was an amazing concept. What a cool way to, see your favorite band. You're in a resort. You can, roll out of your hotel bed and just go over there, grab a drink and enjoy the show. And then
Yeah, he does that one down in Rocky Point. What's the name of that? Do you remember?
Mexicus.
Circus
Circus.
Mexicus,
Yeah.
every June. Yeah. Yeah, that's become quite a thing down there.
Yeah, I've always thought that's a neat idea too.
Yeah.
Like I know, like country music guys, like Kenny Chesney used to do it on Gulf Shores of Alabama.
All right.
And having gone there, I could just imagine, what it would be like with a rock concert on the beach.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Heightened, So what else could people expect in this issue? I know there's some great features beyond Best of the Valley. You went with our wine critic up to Napa.
I went by myself,
right?
actually.
You went by yourself. Okay.
Yeah. I guess I'm the wine critic. It was a feature about how Arizona's emerging wine industry, which is, still a fraction of what California does. I found a fun stat. California produces 89% of American wine. Arizona produces 0.02% of American wine. But our wine industry has doubled in the last 8 years, the number of wineries. And a lot of the people who have made a mark here have professional experience in Napa, Northern California. That makes sense. That's an industry that dominates there, right? It's a true industry town, Napa. And so it's inevitable that a lot of the people who make a living making wine here in Arizona have worked there. But surprisingly, there's also been a lot of Arizonans who moved to California and make a name for themselves in winemaking. And I was interested in that intersection and the way that, Arizona's traded talent with Northern California. Of course, it's not an even thing. But just the fact that the connection is there was to me kind of delightful. So I went to Napa and I kind of described the places you can go there that Arizonans have made their mark at, or some of the winemakers here, the places that they worked at that influenced them. And if terroir is not just the earth, but also the culture and the ideas, I kind of was interested in that part of it. So,
sure.
That's it.
You mentioned that people here that do wine, I know a lot of craft brewers too here locally that got their start making wine in Napa.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Marissa Bernal, she used to be at Look Brewing and now she's at Phoenix Beer Co.
Oh, right.
Her start was making wine in that area. Yeah.
That's so
I mean,
cool.
you do see a little crossover. It's interesting because beer is more manufacturing, right?
Mhm.
Whereas wine involves much more farming and that kind of thing. And, it's wine growing. A lot of winemakers think of themselves as wine growers, not as winemakers. But ultimately, it's about a delicious beverage.
For sure.
So
For sure. I think the people go into craft brewing are like, I don't really want to grow it. I just want to reap the harvest.
Beer's controllable. Whereas, winemaking, a errant storm or a fire or something can just ruin your vintage. You really can't do anything about it. So for control freaks, I think beer's got to be more rewarding.
Probably. Yes.
For sure.
Ask Johan,
For sure.
our in-house brewer.
There you go.
And then there's a Goodwill feature
Amy
from Amy
Silverman,
Silverman,
our award-winning columnist. She just won a major national award for her columns in Phoenix Magazine.
Yeah, shout out Amy. Congrats.
Yeah,
nice job.
There's
nice work.
You know how there's an Oscars for everything. There's an Oscars for the food world. They call it the James Beard Awards.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Oscars for movies, the Oscars. There's also one for city magazines, the CRMA Awards, and she won the 2023 award for Best Columnist.
Right on.
So she also does occasional investigative news pieces for us. they have the feel of a column because she writes it from her personal experience as she would a column. And this one, she's a big thrifter. She loves Goodwill, loves shopping there, but she also is interested in their processes. Their mission at Goodwill, it's a nonprofit, employment services. It's the reason they get their tax exempt status is because they provide employment services to people who maybe are physically challenged or coming, maybe they're reintegrating into society after some trauma. And she was interested in that part of it too, but also in just how big a company it's gotten and how their executives are compensated. So she dives into all of that. And it's an interesting piece. She has kind of mixed feelings about it, I guess.
Right.
You would say.
Right.
She loves the product. She loves to thrift. But maybe she has different aspirations or a viewpoint of the corporate entity that is Goodwill. So
Gotcha.
Good piece.
Travel awards. It's another first for us. We talked already about Roger Clyne doing a first for us. Travel awards, Arizona Travel Awards 2024. Great feature. We just put that up online. You can check it out too. We got submissions from a lot of high country, everywhere around Arizona. There's stuff in there from Kingman, Lake Havasu, even down there in Tucson, all over Phoenix. People who submitted, where all kinds of different categories. From hiking spots to restaurants,
even
hotels.
marketing. There's a couple of categories in there about
marketing campaigns,
different
social media accounts,
different visitor bureaus and tourism bureaus, and this was this is a awards program created in our media company that also owns Phoenix Magazine and our sister magazine, Phoenix Home and Garden, and interest to like you say, provide a kind of a platform for hospitality industries and CVBs, tourism bureaus across the state. So we thought we'd support it by showing who the winners were. The organizers of the awards found 4 judges who have nice profiles here in Arizona in terms of writers and people who've worked in the tourism industry, and they evaluated all the nominees. And
I worked with Leah's holding it up. I worked with Jill at Channel 12. She was in sales or marketing, but I remember her from my days at Channel 12.
There you go. And we did had a freelancer go out, talk to the winners, and tell a little bit about their backgrounds and what they do for a living and what their products are all about. So.
Everyone wants to put award-winning next to on their resume at some point, right?
Yeah.
Amy Silverman's got the award. Now all these travel award people have their awards.
Yes.
We'll have craft beer awards coming up later this summer.
That's right. Looking forward to that.
Hopefully I'm judging again this year. I've judged the last 2 years, so
you got my vote.
I've been working more and more on my taste, my work on trying to identify flavors and how a beer really should be.
How does one improve as a beer judge?
So there is a Cicerone program, much like a sommelier learns about wine.
Sure.
People can enter and take the certification to become a Cicerone. I hope to do that one day. I've been thinking about it a lot. I should probably do more of that. But a lot of the beer judges that we have are actual craft brewers here locally. Whether it's their they might be a cellarman or might be the head brewer or might be the owner. That they're obviously they can't judge their own beer, but then we get in some. We brought in some nationally known judges from all parts. So I remember sitting at a table in year 1 with a guy from Louisiana who was apparently like the top judge in all the country. And everyone knew him here locally because I think he worked military stuff down in Tucson. And so he did it a lot. But it's a cool experience. There's a lot of home brewers that get involved. So they do a lot more competition throughout the year, home brewers. And we've gotten more and more. It's gotten bigger and bigger with more local people getting involved, local brewers, heads of production, that sort of thing.
And when is that? It's in fall. Right?
That'll be in September. And then so we'll judge then and have an awards ceremony, I think the first week of October. And then our awards festival will be in the middle to late October. I think it's October 19th.
Oh boy, where's that going to be this year? Our beer fest.
I believe we set a Tempe location right there in front of Pedal House. It's called Centerpoint Plaza.
Yeah.
So we're going to announce that, I believe, in July.
Right off of Mill, right?
Yeah. It's Mill and 7th Street.
Oh, that's fun.
Right
yeah.
next.
It's a big area. I think they have a lot of, whenever Tempe has a Festival of the Arts or something like that, it's usually in that area.
A beer festival in the middle of Tempe, right on Mill Avenue.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, and I'm delighted.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
So there'll be some options there to spill out after the festival. And
last couple of years, we've had it in Glendale near the football stadium, which is a great area. I love that.
It really is. It's a great lawn.
But I think a lot of people were loath to making that drive out.
For sure. It's great to go out once every, I don't know, 8 times a year to a Cardinals game or go to a concert or something. It's not great for a lot of people that, perceptually to drive out there.
Tempe's much more central.
Yeah.
If you're in, Queen Creek or East Mesa, driving to Glendale or vice versa is a giant pain in the butt.
We're looking forward to that area. You go down there, just go out, visit Pedal House in the next couple of weeks and just kind of see what that's going to be like. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Tempe is almost dead center valley, really.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Can't wait.
Yeah.
I feel like I've already belabored the point. Did I belabor it?
No, I did.
All right, so I think we've covered all of there's a top dentist feature.
Top
I already met a
Jesus.
dentist out front this morning and handed out issues. And
wow.
So if you're having trouble finding the issue, just go see your dentist. It's gonna be in their lobby, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be on newsstands July 5th. How many we get? How many dentists do we cover in this thing? It's a lot, right?
160 this year.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the equivalent of our Top Docs issue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we profile 6 of them.
Yeah,
and,
a lot of good looking dentists in there getting profiled in their picture.
I like getting to know them as humans. And my favorite question is, what is your favorite bad for your teeth, food, or drink? And so some of them give kind of lame answers, but some of them are very
some
fun.
give good answers.
Yes.
My favorite question
Is there a number one? Like I would imagine soda, right?
I think one guy said coffee.
One woman said Australian licorice.
Yeah.
Who knew that was a thing?
This father-daughter duo, they both love licorice.
Now I've read about it. Like there's other kinds of licorice, like fine licorice. Who knew?
Connoisseurs.
And like it's not just the black licorice, obviously. It's other flavors.
You like mango.
You're telling me I have to cut back on my Australian licorice
You have to cut back.
intake.
My favorite question we ask is, what's the funniest thing a patient said to you on nitrous oxide or a painkiller?
Ooh.
Yeah. Those are always funny answers.
There's some amazing ones. What was the one this year that was so funny?
This one. I'm not sure about nitrous, but I had a 65-year-old patient who was orally sedated ask me to the prom. Of course, I said yes.
Isn't that cute? A lot of stuff like that. There was one dentist who said that he had a patient who was on the spectrum, a child, autistic, who was obsessed with space and outer space, and so the poor kid started to get nauseous though from the painkiller and vomited and said without missing a beat, "Houston, we have a problem."
Oh wow.
Sweet baby. I know the comedic timing.
What a moment.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
One of my sons is autistic, and I read that and I'm like, wow, that is kind of sum up a lot of what it's like to have autism.
Right.
So funny. A lot of humanizing details like that. Anyway,
very fun. A lot of good, great dining reviews. I went through those and just at the wrong time. I had to go to lunch.
If you go to one, go to Kembar.
Yeah, Kembar was at our Dish Fest.
Yeah, they are. Leah and I are
fantastic.
in agreement. We both love Kembar. It's the new restaurant at the Desert Ridge Resort and Spa across from Tia Carmen. Same chef, Angelo Sosa, right? And this time, though, he's doing Pan-Asian and specifically Indonesian, Malaysian cuisines that you don't find that in the Valley very often. I can't think of an Indonesian restaurant in the Valley right now. So underserved.
It's pretty much everything but Japanese cuisine. Is that kind of the gist of it?
He also has some Thai in there. So it's all Southeast Asian.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's
so good. I have not had a bad dish there. And I've eaten a lot of things there.
Yeah. a lot of exciting dishes.
That's a big focus too. What we've written about recently, a lot of Asian or that sort of influence restaurants coming into the Valley, or being known more and more. They're becoming more and more prominent.
Oh, you bet. I mean, the Valley's always had probably good barbecue and steakhouses. There wasn't a whole lot. Yeah, right. And Mexican. Not a whole lot of improvement needed there, although that's improved as well. But Asian food has had a real steep improvement curve, and it's gotten really good.
Because for so long, I felt like it was sequestered in the East Valley. Like you had to go over to Mesa and, some of the food courts and H Mart now we have over there. But now it's kind of like going around the valley, not just over there.
Indian food has improved a lot. It's not just the mom and pops of the same dishes you see in most traditional American Indian food restaurants. You've got regional Indian restaurants opening now, so that's been fun. Mm-hmm. Mostly Ferengi in the East Valley. Wonderful.
Delish. Also has been a Best Fest.
Yes.
Or Best Fest. Yeah, Best
they
Fest
were Best Fest also, yeah. Dish Fest. Yeah, Ferengi is it just, I don't know how to quite say it. It's flavor that you will never experience in your life unless you get it's amazing.
The layers of flavor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And presentation that he does, it blows me away every time.
And so Nikki did review Kimbara and also Beginner's Luck, which is the new restaurant from Bernie Kentek, who people know from the Gladly and Citizen Public House.
And we have a sold-out cocktail camp there.
That's right, this weekend. So Nikki reviewed that restaurant in Old Town.
They were at Dish Fest too. I think they had just opened up in February, and a month later they were ready to go there at Dish Fest.
And to blow the the big surprise at the end, it's great.
Yeah.
And then she also reviewed
Cielo
Rojo, which is a new place on 16th Street.
Did that take over Barrio Cafe?
Not the same
location,
building, but it's steps away.
In the area, yeah.
Yeah, and they specialize in Oaxacan food, and it's great. Great. Anything else about this issue you guys want to mention before we get out of here? I think we said it all.
It's awesome. It's out to subscribers right now. It'll be on newsstands July 5th. You can look for winners also online at phoenixmag.com. Best of the Valley will be out there at the end of the week of July 4th, July 5th. We'll have content online from the issue, but if you are looking to get that anytime earlier, you'll have to be a subscriber, obviously. So Craig and Leah, thank you guys so much. Great issue. I always look forward to when the new issues come out and I get to talk to you guys more and more about it. So
thanks for having us.
Yeah.
And thank you for all your work on the readers picks too. I know that's a bigger.
It is a good 6 weeks of my life that I look at that for hours on end, especially when we have to decide who makes the top 10, who's which nominees are local. And we do put a lot of work into that. We vet every single entry. We might miss one or two here or there, but for the most part, that list is 99% local. We aim for 100%. And there, there's unfortunately some people that we anger from time to time, like, I swear I'm local, but no, you're part of a national
It becomes
chain,
hard. You have like these franchises, the owner is local, but the brand itself is not. That's kind of a tougher call. And there's other permutations of that and degrees of it. And that is the most challenging part.
Yeah.
And then there's 300,000 votes to sift through. So,
Yep. And we got to sift through some bots, but we get rid of those. Those are easy to get rid of. So the list you see is true people voting on what they like, what they love, the true best of the Valley. So guys, thanks again, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you. Bye.